everybody, and happy Wednesday. I am so glad you are here with me today. Tracy, you made it. Oh, welcome. And Philippa's here. Hi, Terry. Hello, everybody. Okay. Hi, Lori. Hi, Gail. Hope everybody is having an amazing Wednesday. Let's get the cameras switched around here. You hear me fine. Thanks for being my sound check for me, Terry. I appreciate that you do that for me. Hi, Kathy. Hope you have a slow time in the store while I'm on. Hey, Andrea. Lovely full house. Let's see. Maybe I should zoom you in a little bit. Let's go back over here and we'll zoom you in just a little bit. Hey, Joanne, I saw you walking in. Let's see. No, we don't want that one to go bigger. You don't need a big face. You want to see a little bit more of this. This piece still does not have a name. I have no idea what I'm going to call it. Taking suggestions. I did name the yellow pieces. Hi, Sue. Oh, and I'm going to touch base with you later based on the conversation we had recently. Oh dear, we have some auto focus happening. Let's turn that off because that sort of makes us dizzy, or at least it makes me a little dizzy. There we go. Hey, Margaret. You like beads? You're happy for this session? I just feel like this needs a little bit of bling. I love the colors. I wish they were a little bit brighter, but that's okay because you know that hindsight, it is always 2020, right? And look at little Miss Susan is so organized today. I have 4 beading needles threaded. That way you didn't have to watch me struggle with the little tiny things. So what I'm going to do, I decided to just take 2 colors of beads and I'm just going to scatter them randomly around here. I know we had discussed multiple things about this piece in the past and whether to make it a journal cover or, sell it off as it was. And I have always from the beginning envisioned this as a vessel. So I am going to finish this one off as a vessel. I think as a journal cover, it would be hard. You would have this as your spine and you would have to stitch through that and it wouldn't be very big here. So I'm going to finish that idea. I know, can you believe it, Gail, that I was that organized? Of course, now the first thing of thread I had to toss aside because it was breaking on me. So I have a lot of old threads and sewing threads are great to use on this sort of thing. Let's see which way. I'm trying to decide which way. Did you guys see in the group Anne posted a great little tip that she had about using a tray with some felt on it to lay the beads out. And of course, if I'd have been a little more organized, I could have done that ahead of time. Hey, Vicki. Oh, thank you. Oh, hi, June. June from Oaken Witch Lane Designs. Joanne, thanks for inviting your friend to join us. I am so happy you're here with us. If you have an Etsy shop or a website or something you want us to link to, tell us how to find you. And Gail and Terry, our awesome admins, will find you and put you in our list. Well, I'm glad you said you like watching me work, Vicki, because that's kind of my plan. From now till the end of the year, I'm going to try I have a whole bunch of projects that are the fabric is on the background material, and I am going to just be stitching. I'm going to be doing some stitching, some beading, all kinds of things. Hey, Marissa, like this one. I'll give you a hint. This is another one I'm going to be working on. Hey, Jackie, I did figure out my colors on this. This deep burgundy looked really good, and then a little bit of an accent of this green. And then I found these beads, and I'm going to try. Okay, don't laugh. I'm going to try and make this simple. Susan and simple don't normally go together, but I'm going to try because I'll give you another hint of something else I'm working on. Is this, which right now is still in its ugly teenager phase, and that's okay. That's okay. All right, so Jackie got in here. June is with us for the first time. There is Sue Fiber Art. I want to know who's doing what today. I needed something that I didn't have to concentrate on too much, and beading is so perfect for that, at least for me. And then I can throw the beads all over the place because that's always exciting. My husband goes to vacuum and you can hear the little clattering of the beads as they go up the vacuum. I cannot believe tomorrow is December 1st. I did put up, let's see, I'm going to do that one more time. Let's see. Can I? Okay, there. Oh, thank you, Gail. You found June's video or YouTube channel. Thank you. Whoops, that is not the link. Let's see. I need to hold on a minute, peoples. Hold on. If I mute this, bear with me a minute. Look at the pretty picture. Susan trying to multitask, you know, it's always an adventure. It is always an adventure. I didn't have my YouTube studio open, so I can't go in and delete a comment like that, like I want to. So I will be there in just a second. My goodness, Susan. Computer is very slow, but we're going to come over here. Hang with me. I promise I'm going to be right back. I can't get to my own channel. June has an Etsy shop too. Okay. Somebody can find June's Etsy shop. Joanne, if you know the name of it. Make sure that you are in live and not top chat so you don't miss anything. Talk among yourselves. Make sure that you are in. All right. I'm all fixed now. I'm all fixed. Let me get back to you guys over here. My goodness. There's always an adventure, right? This is how you know. This is how you know how real it is here, right? Is because there's always something that Sue's going to do to mess it up. Marissa is still doing hearts and more hearts for the supportive quilts. Philippa has an Etsy shop too. Oh, okay. So Joanne says that June's Etsy shop is the same as her channel. So maybe she can find that. And Philippa, I did not know you had an Etsy shop. I have to say, I was looking at your blog again this morning because you are inspiring. Hey, Barbara, your internet is intermittent today. Okay. Sue, I saw that picture of all that fabric you got. So we need Philippa's Etsy shop and we need June's Etsy shop. Okay. Wow. Okay. That's enough excitement. This is me trying to find other stuff. I need to leave it for the admins to add the links because they are better at it than I am. Oh, there we go. Terry found June's shop. Oh, so your shop is for embroidery patterns. I was actually looking at that. I was going to take, if you have some suggestions about this, I was going to take some of my bird photographs and convert them to line drawings for embroidering patterns, but I didn't want to do all the color selections because that just isn't my thing. I kind of just wing it. Ha ha ha, bird pictures. So let me know. Oh, thank you, June. I appreciate that. Let me know if you guys would be interested in just line drawings of birds that you could download for patterns. I was kind of thinking about that. Joanne says, I'm really having problems with my tablet today. It keeps cutting off. Guess I need to treat myself to a new tablet for Christmas. I think that's a good idea. We got my mom her first tablet when she was here visiting, and I don't think she realized how much she was going to fall in love with it, which is just kind of fun to see somebody that wasn't really into tech now suddenly really enjoy it. Oh, yours only have suggestions for color. Okay. Oh, so then I might ping you later and talk to you about that, because I was looking at them and I was thinking, well, I was going to pull some of them and put them into some digital designs, but for like in the Etsy shop, and I thought, well, maybe I should do them, even simpler for patterns, for embroidery patterns. June says your tablet is haunted, Joanne. I love it. Yes. Okay, so it's a good idea to do the line drawings. Okay. Yes, because suggestions I figure work for me. I mean, if you're like me, you already have a huge stash that you perhaps keep adding to of threads. I might have several more orders still coming in the mail across this next week. Okay, I will do that. I think it should be pretty easy to just reduce the photos to outlines that you guys could then transfer. So I've got some great hummingbird shots and some other shots. Okay. And then Philippa, the reason I've been looking at Philippa's blog is that she's got some great pictures and instructions about how she did some encrusted embroidery, which I am just fascinated by. And I got an idea on how I could do my own little twist on it. So I've been going back over and looking at it. I was never really big into beads. Did I miss my, oh, thank you. Thank you guys for the kind words. Help me name this piece, because I do not have a name for this one. Let's see if we make it a little bigger, and then I just need to remember to move it up. Philippa, Terry needs more information to find your Etsy. Oh, June does fabulous pieces in felt. Ooh, we'll need to go check out her shop. So I did something this weekend. I learned some things, and I did something that got me really excited. I love my wool. Inkscape for tidying up drawings, etc., for fine line drawings. Thank you. That's a great tip. And I was thinking about some of you that have sensitivity to wool. This might help. I threw some of my wool scraps. Hey, Janet. I threw some of my wool scraps in the washing machine a couple of times and let them get felted up. And I love them so much more. They're different now. Of course, they're not, because I just don't have the strength to do the wet felting, but I want to do some needle felting over these other pieces. And I'm just real excited about the change. Oh, and Barbara, I do have that person's link for you about the Zentangled flower thingies. So I will, I actually sent a note to myself and said, email this to Barbara, but I'll post it in the group later and tag you. Thanks for reminding me. Tangled Fields is kind of nice. I'll give you one more aside. Hey, Hummer, are your phone knocking you out? I did decide on a name on this piece, which is going to be the triptych. Of course, you can't even see all three of them. But this one's going to be called Gathered. Yeah, I wondered if the wool would bother you as much then either. Hey, Fiona, a garden on a frosty. Ooh, frosty morning is good. Wait a minute, where's my notepad? Good evening to you, Fiona. I hope you're having a good evening. Let's see here. I got to write these things down. Tangled Fields. Could be just tangled. And frosty morning I like. I was thinking for fun, because we all kind of like to come up with names for other people's stuff. Yeah, Gathered on the other one. It just seemed like they were, the knots were all gathered and they were going to be gathered together in a triptych. I thought it might be kind of fun if we had, like, I don't know, maybe we would post a picture, and it could be our picture. It could be a picture, that we've seen without knowing what the name is that maybe the artist called it, and brainstorm. Oh, lavender meadow. That's nice too. I like the meadow word. Twisted threads. But we could have like a brainstorm of just titles on things. Or if somebody's got a piece they're working on, throw it up there and let's brainstorm titles, because I've started to keep lists of titles. I used to do this when I was writing poetry. I would keep lists of potential poem titles. I want you to know I am not paying any attention, honestly, to where I'm putting these beads, other than I'm just trying to put it next to another thread, just so it's kind of grounded. And I think that's going to add to the randomness of it. Terry just posted the link to the Facebook group. So if you are not already in there, I hope you'll come join us over there. I have been thinking about all of you people in there. Blue Sky Through the Trees. Ooh, isn't that a pretty title? Okay, that's one to save too, because that could be something. I'm going through here. Oh, Fiona, shingles, yikes, that is not fun. Oh, well, Zoe has an opinion about people walking by outside. Sergrassa C, my monitor is got really bad text. Sergrassa C, something exotic. That would be kind of neat. I don't know. Does anybody else like brainstorming titles? Because I just think it would be fun. I might put up a whole bunch of things and just let you guys riff on them, and then maybe it'll give you ideas for titling your own things. If you don't title your work, I wonder why. Because I think it is, it's important. Got myself out. This is silk thread, so it tangles pretty easily. I think it's important to put a name to our work. Yeah, it's supposed to be really painful, and I do hope that we can distract you a little bit and that you have something for the pain. So what I was thinking about in the group is you guys are all brave creatives. Absolutely brave creatives. That is Sue's Etsy shop. Yes, indeedy. Sue needs a title for a quilt I'm giving at Christmas. Oh yeah, put it up in the group and do a title request, because I just love to see it. And then I suggest, people, if something speaks to you, jot down the name. It's painful and there's nothing to do but let it run its course. Oh, that stinks. Pain just makes it so difficult to focus on anything. I've got knee pain going on right now, and unfortunately it is from the arthritis, and I am pretty close to bone on bone on that one knee. Plus it's got a tear in it, a meniscus tear. So it's like I can't really do quad exercises to strengthen the knee because I'm not supposed to do that kind of stretching with the tears. And it's just basically, I don't want to take a whole lot of pain relievers. So I think it's close to time to go in and get a steroid shot and see how long that will last, because I'm really not ready to have a knee replacement. But I know that that's going to be the first knee that happens with, because you just sit there. I don't even have to be moving and it hurts. And when you have any kind of pain, your brain doesn't work the same way. It's hard to focus. Oh, Vicki, you've had 2 knee replacements, so you know that pain. I'm sorry. I hope you had successful knee replacements. I know most of the people I know that have had it have had no problem, but I'm just really frustrated because we had been walking for quite a while, and I'd been losing weight with the walking, which was helping the knee. And now it's like, I don't want to go walking because it hurts just to sit still. Yeah, it makes me cranky. Hey, Barbie, how are you doing today? Put the Zoom dates up for December. Hope some of you guys are going to join us. Successful. Oh, no pain after replacements. I like that. No pain is a good idea. But I feel like this doesn't really focus as much. I don't want to put any more light on here because it's going to blow everything out. Gail said she's had one knee replaced. Glad I had it done. Okay, that's makes me feel better. Yeah, I figure, maybe I'll make it another year. We'll see. We'll see. So yeah, I'm trying to start a bunch of projects. Thank you, Barbie. That's beautiful. And by starting a lot of projects, that means then I can do, just regular videos, maybe like every other day of me working on a project. Oh, Janet says, my doctors don't seem to think I need it, but I have pain all the time. That's so frustrating. That is so frustrating. I know the insurance denied the last time that I was supposed to have some meniscus surgery, but it's getting a lot worse. Hey, Sandy, you're not late. I'm still here. Tracy wants to know, does anyone know the best Zoom time for us in the UK? Andrea, when do you come? I forget. Do you come to the morning one or the afternoon one? I know, Fiona, we're all falling apart. You feel better already? Sue, yes, you need to get a picture. Share it with us. Hopefully you still have the quilt somewhere handy. Hey, Margaret, good morning to you. Okay, the 11 a.m. one. So the morning one for you, Tracy. Who snuck in here? There we go. Making sure I didn't miss anybody. Oh, I love seeing the little bits of sparkle here. You guys are not good. Yeah, I got lots of different things, and I've got, I probably have by now, I think I have like a dozen different ones started. And then I've been playing with the stuff for them. It's like, well, what am I going to do for this? And what am I going to say for the classroom? It seems, okay, and you guys need to correct me if I am imagining this wrong. Emergency doctor was concerned bone on bone, but the others don't. One told me I was just obese. Oh, well, mine did tell me that if I lost the weight, it would help. And as I've been losing weight, it has been helping. Yeah, losing the weight, Barbie, has helped you too. I was hesitant to keep doing regular videos where it feels like I'm just doing the same thing on different pieces, but it seems like people enjoy watching the stitching and hearing me ramble. So if that's the case, please let me know, because then I will feel better about posting them more often. June asked, do I frame my pieces? I do not frame them. I did one piece I stretched over stretcher bars, and that could be then popped into a frame. I've decided that I'm probably not going to frame them. Some pieces I have matted. Some of the ones that are not super heavily embroidered, I have matted, and they could pop into a frame. They're in my shop now. But most of them, I just, I think I'm going to just finish off the edges. Well, this is going to be a vessel, so it's not going to be framed. But I think there'll be wall hangings that, you could decide to frame them, but I don't know. At this point, no. Yeah, losing weight does help. You're right, Gail, Barbie. Barbie's lost 70 pounds. Awesome. That's terrific. Ramble away, says Vicky. I love the videos, says Margaret. Okay, Fiona likes the rambling. Yeah, Sue, I like the live sessions because we end up talking about all sorts. I like those too. But to be honest, I've got to do a split so that YouTube will keep sending out my videos. Oh, Hummer says, yes, Rambo, please, you've helped me through this trembling grief. Thank you. Barbie says, I may be wrong, but I think most of us show up from the chatting more than the stitching. Yes, I agree. On the lives, absolutely. I don't think it matters what I'm doing in the lives. We're here to chat. That's why I figured it was a good day to do beading. It didn't matter. Jackie says, yes, love watching you stitch around. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Oh, Gail too, over the last year, lost 70 pounds. That is awesome. I'm down about 45, and I would like to lose about another 45. Tracy says, love listening to you, Susan. Your positive words make me feel good, as I hope others' words make you feel good too. They absolutely do. They absolutely. The words you guys give to me are gold for me. They are my gasoline. All the positive words, they're my gasoline to give me the fuel to keep going. And Sue, it's the same way for me. My my lives and my Zooms with my coaching group and a couple Zooms I do with some friends, they really are my social interaction. Terry said, losing weight is great, but you often need to walk to lose the weight. This is my experience with the plantar fasciitis. Yeah, that was really hard. When I had a bad case of that, it was really hard to go walking. Well, for me also, the weight loss was just changing some of the way we were eating. Joanne said, I told June all about the engaging and entertaining discussions we have in chat. Oh, so we got to get going now on some good discussions. Well, I have one that somebody suggested that I thought was great, and I was going to post it in the group too. Not talking craft supplies. A vessel, like a vase. Yeah, they've all sold, so I don't have any handy to show you. But this would be, and this is up close, so you can't really see. If you roll this into a cylinder shape, or maybe you can see it this way, be a vessel. Soft sculpture item that hold, yeah. Jackie says, hit the like button to up Susan's YouTube ratings. I believe making comments helps too. It does, especially after the live, if you can come over and make a comment. Hey, Sherry. Gail said, Terry, yep, that wasn't an option for me walking. I had to go on a reduced calorie diet till I got the weight off. I'm doing the stationary bike now due to a bad knee, can't walk. Oh, too many things against you. That's frustrating. All right, so here's a question for you guys. And I don't know how earth-shattering it is, but somebody suggested this, and I thought it was a good question. Other than craft supplies, what is something you collect? What is something you collect? For me, some of you have seen my cobalt blue glass. I used to have a much larger collection, but I don't have as large of a house now, so there's not as many places for it. Barbara's internet dropped her out. And I collect blue and white china plates, blue and white china, I guess. And again, I used to have a lot more of that. I still have, I don't add to the collection, but I still have a very large collection of little tiny miniature glass animals, like the kind that you used to get in the boxes of tea, and then the blown glass ones. Everything can be crafted. Gail collects postage stamps. Sue says a shorter list might be what I don't collect. You know what? In high school or in grammar school, I remember writing an essay about collecting collections because there were so many things I collected. Sue Fiber Art collects plants. Gail also has a lot of blue and white plates. Barbara, we see you. Hopefully you see us. You hear me. Oh, yeah. It's no fun walking in the pain. We have nothing but hills around us. So luckily we can take a short loop and I can see how I'm doing. I hope I can maybe do that today because we're going to have rain tomorrow. It's supposed to rain all day tomorrow. And here in California, we are super, super excited about that. And one of the other things I'm going to start in the group, and thank you, Andrea, for this suggestion, is book recommendations. Oh, Sue, the old metal tins. I used to collect those advertising tins. I loved old advertising tins. And then I discovered that I needed to see inside things. I still have some of them on top of the kitchen cupboards, but I do love those. Margaret says, I have a very small collection of female busts, figurines, and a collection of miniature baskets. Jackie said, I prefer using my space for my creative venture supplies rather than objects. I used to collect so much more, and now I'd rather have room for my supplies. Yeah. Fiona says, I collect vintage and antique sewing and fabric tools, lace bobbins, thimbles, tatting shuttles. Oh, and dust. Yes, dust. Sue says, I am also drawn to small pitchers, clear glass creamers, and bowls. I had a thing for pitchers in my 20s. Oh, I wanted to collect all those old pitchers. And I especially liked the milk, what was it called? The milk glass? Is that what it was called? Sandy said, I've been collecting cobalt blue glass for 55 years. I have a collection of FDR era Scotty dogs and a wonderful collection of occupied Japan and Nippon pieces of Victorian people. Oh my goodness. I used to collect the Staffordshire dogs, and I love those. I had those all over the library in our old house. Marissa says, I collect enamelware teapot. Oh, enamelware. I love enamelware too. And antique metal, textiles, paper things. Gail used to collect lighthouse sculptures, but I don't collect anymore. Need to find a better home for all I have. Yes. Vicky says, I'm feeling the beautiful interconnection between all of us creatives. Yes, I know, right? Hobnail milk glass. Thank you. Thank you for that, Terry. I knew there was a special name with it. Hey, Michelle. We're still here, so you're not that late. Oh, June, I used to collect Father Christmases too. When my kids were little, oh, that was my thing. I love them, especially if they were wood carved ones. Loved it. Metal signs. Andrea collects metal signs. Gail says, I have all sorts of dog collectibles. Didn't think of that. Yeah, sometimes we don't realize. Okay, let's just switch to some greens. I love enamel, but I use it every day, so don't have to claim it as a collection. You know, and I hope we use our good stuff. We've started doing that a lot more lately, making sure that we're not just letting our stuff hang out on the shelf. We use my blue Danube blue and white china. We use it all the time. It goes in the dishwasher. Nobody gets any special treatment. Sue said I had to stop collecting some things due to lack of space, not to mention that I can't go to the thrift shops anymore. Yeah. Janet collects owls. Joanne says, anything I buy, I end up with too much and it becomes a collection. Vitamin supplements, Christmas decorations. I love it. Love it. Love it. Cast iron. Ooh, Michelle likes cast iron and pottery mugs. Oh gosh, I love these little beads. Wait a minute, I'm going to have to, you guys probably can't see as much. Can you see that green? Doesn't want to, wait a minute, seems like that's not as focused as it should be. Let's turn the autofocus on for a moment on this one. That's a little better. And then if I turn it off, then maybe it won't move a bunch. Paperweights. Oh, wow. Whoops, I heard a bead go sliding. I just have to realize that some beads are just going to go missing. Barbara says fabric, of course. Last year, I finally made a quilt from my fossil ferns collection of fabric. Ooh, that sounds gorgeous. Lori says, I have been downsizing antiques and collectibles. And like you said, Susan, I've been using things, dishes, linens, anything. It feels good to use it, not have it just sitting around. Yeah. Sandy says, just when I think I don't hoard, I realize my collections could be hoarding. Yep. Yeah, I think the beads do light up the fabric, Lori. They just give it that little bit of a pop, and the background then can kind of shine a little bit more. You're keeping all your sewing antiques. Yeah. I probably have more collections that I'm not thinking. Let's see if I used to be books. At one time, my husband and I had probably close to 10,000 books in our home library. And we pretty much bought the last house we were living in to have a room that we could make a library. It was absolutely wonderful. Collections make it easy for others to gift things that you like. Yeah, when I was writing, one of my big collection was figurines that had anything to do with writing or reading. So I had all these characters that were reading books or that were sitting at a desk writing or had a quill. And I had hundreds of those, which I have sold over the years. I just kept a few favorites. Janet said, I feel bad for my kids when I pass on. They have a job to do. Yeah, that's why we're trying to use all our stuff now. Kathy said, I used to collect antique cups and saucers, and one time we moved, the movers broke all of them. Oh, ouch. I had my grandmother's cup and saucers, and I realized, I love looking at them at my grandmother's house, but they were just dust collectors for me, so I passed them on to somebody else. Sue says, I like the idea of preserving history through our collecting. Yeah, and I think, with textiles, I know there's mixed feelings between collecting like antique textiles and saving them and then taking them and cutting them up. Oh, bye, Hummer. I'll see you later. Sending you a hug. Oh, Andrea said, I just ordered a book about old sewing tools. I'm hoping it will help me identify some things. Wait a minute, what am I missing here? That I've bought. Gail said, postage stamps. I figured are really small and wouldn't take up a lot of space, but oh my God, I have a lot of albums. All of that, Marissa. She says, what did you write? Poetry, novels, stories. Yeah, I used to write books for kids mostly. And then I did articles for, let's see, wait a minute here. I'm trying to get caught up. There we go. I did articles for magazines and newspapers, and I did articles for writing, how to write for kids. I published verse novels and picture books. So I did a little bit of everything. Used to work for newspapers. And then I taught writing and taught poetry in prison and all kinds of good stuff. Philippa says, I have all my first day covers, don't know what to do with them. Grandparents always sent them. I have a few of those too. And I thought I was going to collage with them, and I'm probably just going to put them in a Goodwill box because I don't know anybody. My son said, quit giving me stuff, trying to give me stuff. She doesn't want to take anything home. He's like, nope. I think his fiance might take some things, but then he gives her a look and they're like, nope, they're not taking anything home. Yeah, it was the writing world was a lot of fun until it wasn't anymore. And then it was easy for me to say, okay, I'm done. I'm done. I had a good time. I ghost wrote a book for a lady that was the mistress to a guy, to a really big drug dealer, which I didn't find out until afterwards. That was a weird experience. I did a lot of ESL books for a Korean publisher. Janet says, I finally gave the kids their schoolwork. They can care for them now. Yep. Sue said, I only hope our children want some of the family heirlooms I've inherited. Annette wants to know, Andrea, can I ask the name of the sewing tool book? I would be interested in having a look. Annette, are you in the Facebook group? Because we are going to start a book list over there. Yeah, that was quite an experience. That was, gosh, 40 years ago. I was way too young and experienced to be doing that job, the ghostwriting job. Most money I ever made from writing. It was a lot of money, but I tell you what, that lady was a whack job. She was crazy. She had a maid whose job was just to take care of her shoes, if you can imagine that. And I did some work. It never got published, but I did some work with a guy that was investigating the British Great Train robbery. You should join. Yeah, we're pretty free form over there. We're not not a lot of rules. We just want people to share their creativity, whatever kind of creativity inspires them. Andrea's finding the name for you, Annette. Okay, these dark green are really... I'm so happy now I know what beads I like and what side. Her shoes, I know. Can you believe it? Okay, June says, were you frightened that the drug dealer would come after you? When I was first working on the book, I wasn't. It was really great because, like I said, this was like 40 years ago, and I got a check every month for like $2,500 for a year. It was terrific. But after I had finished the book and turned it into the agent, and they were off doing their things with it, like I had nothing else to do with it, I got this letter, and the return address was from the DEA. And I was petrified that it had something to do with the book that I had been working on. I was just like, oh my God, what is happening? I didn't want to have any legal connections to anything like that. Supposedly, my name had been hidden from all that stuff. It turned out to be something completely different. It was just a request to do an interview, but it freaked me out. In fact, I don't even think I could open it for like half an hour. I just sort of walked around the house with the envelope in my hand, looking at the return address. Fiona says the maid would be finished in an hour here. Yeah, same here. Wouldn't even take that. Barbara said, I don't have any kids. I plan to have my survivors open my studio to friends to come rummage around and adopt things. I've got several tools from friends' estate giftings. That's fabulous. What a great idea. I have a friend that has volunteered to come take care of my stuff so my husband doesn't have to. Yes, Terry is done with her sales and she is back in chat. We are glad to have her and Gail working so lovely on the links for us. I am in love with this color beads. I am going to, okay. I have this many left. How many of you guys do this? I have this many beads left. That's a lot of beads in this little container. And I'm already saying, oh my God, maybe I need to order more. You start to use your stuff that you love and you think, oh my gosh, I'm not going to have enough. I need to get more. No, I don't need to get more yet. When I order from this gal, she ships them right away. I get them in like 5 days. They can certainly wait until I get down to the bottom of the bowl. It's crazy. Yeah, Terry, I hope that you had a lot of great sales your days that you were working at the co-op before Thanksgiving. We sure missed you. And Gail, we are glad that we have you doing admin stuff for us as well, so that we still have all those links. I really appreciate so much that Terry and Gail post those links, because I want you guys to feel like this is our group. When you have a painting class tomorrow and one on Friday, wow. Still not 100%, Gail. Ah, dang. Okay, the book that Andrea got is called Needlework and Embroidery Tools by Eleanor Johnson. It's a Shire color book. I do not know what it is like yet. It cost a couple of pounds. Gail, you are doing a great job. Whatever you can share, I appreciate it. You finished your last shift last night. Well, I just hope you sold a lot of stuff. It's a thankless job, and I'm glad that you guys thank Gail and Terry, because they miss out on a lot of the other conversations by making sure that they're getting the links posted. And I'm still working on cleaning up the list into a fashion that I like, but I will be posting the list of those of you that are coming to the lives. I'm not just taking the list from the Facebook group. I want the people that are active here. And I'm going to be posting it on the website, and I will be mentioning it, that the list is available in my newsletter. Have some big plans coming for the coming year, working on some of the classes, kind of trying to decide what's best, what the people might want. Yeah, you can't. You guys miss things out. And I'm aware of that, Gail and Terry, and that's why I'm like extra super grateful for you guys. Show is open till Christmas Eve. Wow. Barbie said, when I graduated from college, I was a nanny for an eccentric family. One of the people that worked with me was the story reader. They had a master's degree in English lit. Oh, wow. Hello, Carol, Canadian artist. How are you? The story reader. What are the beads? These are Delica. Is that how you say them? And I got these from a shop on Etsy. I can put the link in the group. It's called, oh, wait a minute. I know I have it right here. Here we go. Let's see, will it focus? It's called DIY.beads on Etsy. And she's got all the Mayoki beads at a really good price in small quantities. So it worked for me to get a selection. Barbie says their job was to choose a book and show up every evening 5 days a week and read a bedtime story. Oh, wow. Joanne says, my tablet and phone keep turning off, but I'm not going to miss this chat. I just keep signing back in. That's dedication for you. You should get your hoarded beads out of storage and use them. The more, now that I found the beads and needles that I like, I'm enjoying beading a lot more. Marissa says, I hear talking sales. Wait a minute here. I need to get back. And I feel like an alien person. I feel so, I'm so bad for selling anything. Never liked it, but I love buying. I'm so good for it. Seriously, not an easy thing to master. You know, you don't have to sell your stuff. There are a lot of people that have separation anxiety from their stuff. They can't bear to sell their stuff. But if it's something that you want to, you know, you think you might want to do more of, we can certainly talk about it. Does anybody else have any hangups about selling? What do you suggest? What do we, okay, those beading people in the group, I suggest a number 10 beading needle. My favorite is the tulip. The video that I posted the other day, just called Let's Bead. It has a link to my beading needle that I like. That is my favorite needle. 10 is nice because you can get the needle threader through the hole, which makes it easier to thread. I would say if you haven't done a lot of beading, do not get anything smaller than a size 11. Can I explain bead and beading and needle sizes? A little bit. I'm not super fluent, so you can stumble with me. But let me get, do I have them right handy? I'm going to do a video on this, but you guys can have a little hint. So tulip are my favorite beading needles. And they come, you can get a 10, 11, and a 12. And a 12 is really tiny if you're using really fine beads. A 10 is a nice general bead needle size. And like I said, you can use the needle threader for it. And it'll go through, you know, your size 11 seed beads, which are pretty standard. I don't think I have any seed beads out here. Some of the other beading needles you can get are something like this that has a collapsible eye. They're not a favorite of mine, but they might work for you. Or you can get a split needle. And that's literally what it is it's split, and they're very easy to thread. The smaller the bead number, the larger the bead. So I've just discovered that I like 8s and 9s or 8s and 11s. That works really well for me. I can't go anything smaller than an 11 because it's just too tiny. It's too fumbly for my fat fingers. But I am going to do a video. I've got that one planned to record real soon. Okay, what did I miss here? Sandy says, when I make a journal, I put my personality in it. So when it goes to another home, I think there should be adoption papers filled out. Love it. Separation anxiety. Yes, definitely. Yeah, the stress of having to get it ready, trying to sell and get it shipped off. I know the web shop has made it so much easier for me. And the fact that my husband will do the actual shipping part of it. Fiona says, I have a lot of cast iron cookware that I can't use, too heavy, but can't bear to part with them all. Like I said, it won't be my problem when I'm not here. June says, I love selling, not packing it up. Once I'm done with something, it's no longer mine. I know I made it, but it takes a life of my own. I feel the same way, June. It's like, okay, I'm done. A nice assortment of quality beads to start with. That's kind of why I went to this place, and I will put a link to it in the group. Gosh, I'm thinking multiple things here, because I was able to get for like $3. I was able to get what did she call? They're like 10 grams of beads, and I think I did like $35. It was free shipping, so that was fine. If you have some more questions about beading needles and bead sizes, let me know, because I will address them then in the video. Yeah, I love the number 10 kneading. Silliman thread. I do not know that one. I don't know that one. The reason I went ahead and sprung for, whoops, I took my thread right out of here, for buying some is so that I could know for sure the sizes. And that way, when I was buying things from the thrift shop, I was better able to know whether it was something I could do or not. Because at the thrift shop, I didn't know what the sizes were. Taking photos is my downfall, says Joanne. It takes me weeks to photograph stuff I make. You might want to try a light box if you don't already have one. It is an investment, but it does help you to be able to get some nice photos. But I struggle with photos as well. I would not have sold nearly as much this year if my husband didn't do the packaging for me. Wow, this one doesn't want to. I want to rethread my needle. Come on, there we go. Just a second here. Let me get this rethreaded, and then I can get caught up on the chat. I feel like I missed a bunch of stuff. Okay. Barbara says, I'm feeling really lucky watching this chat. Our little community actually has 2 bead stores. Oh my goodness. We're one of the 10 best art communities in California. So that explains that. Wow. You know, Gail, I was going to do to the Fire Mountain website, and I just didn't want, number one, I was a little overwhelmed. Fiona, I'm glad you're getting distracted from the pain. I just felt really overwhelmed, and I went back to this Etsy shop. I bought from them twice. She ships so fast. She's in Arizona, so it was close to me. And like I said, I liked being able to, it was one brand, and I got just a beautiful, I was going to do a video, and it's just so hard to get a good video of the beads that I didn't. I just spent a day getting them all organized. Oops, I got all, you know, this just adds just a little bit. The beads just add a little bit of something extra to your work. Someone buys the object, you know, they want it. I give mine away and find they do not use it. Oh, Janet, that's hard. Barbie says, perhaps we need to do a product photography workshop. Are you volunteering, Barbie? I can organize a Zoom, or we could do it in a Facebook room on Facebook if you want. You're our photographer. It would be wonderful. The photo taking is really a pain. The split needles are nice, but they're nice for threading. For me, though, they're too flimsy. That's what I discovered. They're too flimsy. The bead hold in New Zealand. Ooh. A light box. You could never get it assembled? Oh, the light box. Geez, Joanne, maybe we need to have like a little private one-on-one and see if we can walk you through that, because the light box really helpful to get good lighting on your product and then keep that lighting contained within the box. Barbie, if you can think of something like that, hit me up and we can organize it however it might work best for you, Zoom or in Facebook or whatever. I'm glad to pull something like that together and people could learn from you, our photographer. One thing I learned on shipping is if you are making things in a bunch of different sizes, you really need to think about packaging and how you're going to ship stuff. If you have all that stuff on hand to start with, it helps. So it's like right now I'm making a bunch of vessels that are going to be about the same sizes so I can have the boxes the same size and just know that I have all that stuff ready to go. Sandy said, I get blown away that someone likes my items. Each year I give ornaments I make to my friends and I go to their homes and there they are on their tree. I just can't believe it. Very humbling. I know. And when I sell something and I get a note back from people telling me just how much it still speaks to them, it kind of makes me speechless. Is a light box any use for wall art? Absolutely. I need to get a slightly larger one, but all the art that is on my website, I have taken all those pictures with the light box, and sometimes you have to prop it upright. Sometimes you want to do it as a flat. They've got a little hole at the top where you can like lay your cell phone over the top of it or your camera and shoot down through it. And it really works really well. Barbara says, I took a beading quilting workshop some years back with Tom Atkins, and he has a book out through C&T Publishing, Beading Artistry for Quilts, Basic Stitches and Embellishments, Add Texture and Drama. Oh, yeah. Marissa says, I have a homemade light box. It would be great to use it for photos. Yeah. June says, I'm a box hoarder just for that reason. Same here. And they're like all over the garage, but I'm always afraid to get rid of something because it'll be just the right size that I need. Fiona says, I was thinking about the wild west coast of Scotland. Didn't mean to be rude. What did I miss, Fiona? What did you say? I need to go back. Lighthouse. Oh, yes. No, we misspoke. Not a big deal. Tom Atkins is in Santa Cruz. Oh, wow. Barbie, you know what? I am no longer using a DSL. I sold it off and I am only using my phone now. I would imagine most people are using a phone for doing photos. So if you wanted to teach something that would show people how to use their phone with it, I don't know if that would make a difference. Oops, I missed. Yeah, exactly what Terry said. Fiona Rude, never, never, never. We love everybody here. And hello to the secret squirrels. I did not say hello to you today, but we love the secret squirrels. Lurkers are welcome. Yeah, they have sure come a long way. You're right, Gail. Phones have come a long way on their cameras. Bye, Marissa. Sue said, Tom's sister, Robin, lives up here in the Pacific Northwest. She did some amazing beadwork, but is into Zentangling now. Oh, wow. You'd have to figure out how to do it with your phone. Well, maybe it's like a tip sheet, you know, things to think about with lighting or angles or something like that. Would that be helpful to people? I mean, just kind of like basic stuff. Philippa said, book I have, 3-dimensional embroidery by Janet Edmonds. Delicious. Ooh, I'm going to have to put that one on my list. Barbara says, I want to do some more of those small quilt and bead combination pieces. It's on my round to it list. Oh, okay. Here, wait a minute. Speaking of interesting words, because round to it made me think of it. Yeah, it's a nicer name than lurkers. I like that one too. Secret squirrels. Because I like the green beads, I'm going to keep going with the green. Must be a lot of YouTube tutorials on this photo subject. Yeah, I'm sure. Scrumble. Scrumble is a word that I just saw recently, and evidently it's a well-known definition of a piece of free-form crochet or knitting that could then you like do a small piece of something and then you could attach it to a larger piece. And I thought, well, isn't that wonderful that crochet and knitting had this great word, scrumble? But I don't know of one for fabric and fibers. We need to come up with one. Yeah, it's a crochet term. We need to come up with one for fabric and fibers. What would be a good one? A frumble doesn't quite sound nearly as delicious. But I thought that was fascinating. I love the word, but now I feel like I can't use it for fabric and fibers. But, you know, we need a word. We need to invent our own word. I am so much loving this piece even more as the beads get some color pop in them. It definitely seemed to be into tones lately. Yeah, Google does. Scrumble, absolutely, they know Scrumble. Because wait a minute, Philippa made another mention of another book here, Treasury of Crazy Quilts Stitches. Oh, I love that book. Yes, by Carol Samples. That is a fabulous book. Yeah, isn't that something? Scrumble. Sounds like it belongs in rugby or something. Oh, scumble. Oh, that's it, Margie. Scumble. There's no R in it. Thank you. See, I'm not a crocheter or a knitter, so it was absolutely new to me. Scumble. So we need that. It sounds even more like a rumble. So now we need one for fabric and fibers. We need to come up with a word, people. Suppose if it's fabric and fibers, it needs to be an F word, but it needs to be a good F word. Sandy said, I came in late. So far, I learned you worked for a drug leader, were in prison, and was wanted by the DEA. Oh, Sandy, I love you. Barbara said, oh, scumble is a painting turn. I was right. It is a scrumble is the knitting and crocheting word. Okay. Michelle says, I'm enjoying all the fabrics I got from you. Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad. There's still a lot more of those in the shop. More than 4 letters too. Yes. Yes, I taught wayward youth in prison. I think she was making a joke. It was wonderful. Fibrix. There's a gal. She's only got a few things on Pinterest, but I do have a board devoted to her. It's Fiona Fabstrax, and I love it because it's fibers and fabrics. Okay, scrumble. Great giggle moment. All right, let's get some greens in here next to the gold. I bet that's going to pop. Fabric, Fibrix. Oh, anything you can see with Marion Jasmic? Yes. Fiona said, I watched on Arnold's Attic video about Marion Jasmic textile artists. Worth a watch. She's also got a wonderful interview over on Fiber Arts Take Two, their Friday feature artists on their YouTube channel. I highly recommend her. I've got one propped up now to finish watching with Ann Goddard, who does some really interesting things as well. Yeah, it is funny to think about it like that. I love your way of putting it, Sandy. Arnold's Attic has some great little interviews. Also, they go to a lot of shows, and you can see a lot of the art on the walls. Terry, can you send me June's, just send me a message with June's link information so I can add her to my master list, please, whenever you have a chance later today. Just was thinking about that. I don't know that I'll get a newsletter out by the end of the year. I really need to get a virtual admin. I need to hire some help. Anybody looking for a part-time job? PM me and we can talk. Thank you. Terry posted Marion's link. She is really an interesting artist. What did I do to get knotted up here? That's interesting. I don't know how that got knotted up. On this side. Momentary pause while I figure out what I did. Doggone it. I hate it when, come on, it's going to work? It's going to work. Okay, good. Woo! Crisis averted. It looks completely different now that it's getting this sparkle in it. Wow. Oh, thank you. Barbara posted the link to Arnold's Attic. Yeah, there are a lot of really great interviews there, and they're not as long. Fiber Arts Take Two Friday feature artist ones are long, but they're also really good. And I highly recommend, whether you are a beginning artist or an experienced artist, you can learn so much by looking at other artists. I was having this discussion with another friend earlier this week about how sometimes we look at, oh, wait a minute, let me answer Sue's question. She said, so what exactly were you trying to convey with the word for fiber and fabric? Well, what I liked about the word scrumble was it was for these little pieces that you would make on their own with your little scraps and things, and then you would attach them to something else. So like if I was making something to go on to here, what would you call this little thing before it went on there? Vicky says, how do you decide upon the price to sell an item like the one you're working on? Oh, with great pain and difficulty. I find pricing items extremely hard. Thank you, Terry. Like a cluster, but something, and like a snippet roll, but a snippet, and it could be a snippet. The right thing to do is to keep track of what your materials cost, but my materials come up together, over time. So it's very hard to keep track of that. And then your hours, and you should pay yourself, a certain amount of time on your hours. A fluster, a flibbit. And you should make sure that you're going to get something beyond your materials. And I find, I don't know, does anybody else have any tips? I find it extremely difficult. And as far as my time investment goes, I underprice my work. I super underprice my work. Ruth does some wonderful work. Fluster? A fluster? Except it describes me most of the time. So Gail's talking about Ruth Norberry. She has a wonderful channel. She just did, I'm in Stitch Club, and she did a few months ago, she did a class in there. So I know she's still creating. She might have decided that YouTube wasn't for her. Philippa says, art pricing is very subjective. In paintings, it is size. For an unknown painter, I have found that the bigger the painting, the more I charged. Yeah, my friend who is a pastel artist, she has kind of set prices based on size. So it's like she knows that all her 11 by 14 pastels are going to be one size. And she's done a little bit. She's been doing this for like 40 years, so she can, charge accordingly. Fiona said the Impressionists hung out with each other together and weren't averse to working together. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I think maybe she's got a wonderful series. She takes you through her whole, from creating a background cloth to doing her moody work. And some people are not comfortable sharing their techniques. Barbie said, I find pricing so regionally motivated too. Prices that seem appropriate on the West Coast and East Coast make the middle regions freak out. Yes. Yeah, I agree. People charge more for paintings, but textile art takes longer. It's really difficult. Sue Fiber Art, you're right. You're right. And also, textile art is not considered art in many areas. Galleries often don't accept this as art. It's not in juried shows. It often won't be accepted. So it's one of the reasons if you're trying to sell your work, what you're really selling is a piece of you. Sandy said it earlier when she said she feels like there should be adoption papers. Yeah, call your work mixed media. Yeah. 98% of the population does not see textiles as art. Yes, textile work should be considered art. I will say that my art has sold more since I have been kind of refining who I am online. Since the Facebook group and the lives have become more popular, since people have gotten to know me, because people are buying a piece of me. I get letters from people after they buy my work feeling like they have a piece of me sitting with them in their house, which is quite humbling to me. But also it tells me that it's that connection. We want that connection with the artist. So it's easier to spend the money when it's somebody that we've seen growing the piece on YouTube, whether we've seen them on Instagram, that sort of a thing. Sue said, Philippa, do you think it's a more popular term? Yeah, it's an art term that's more recognizable as art. Thread painting is nice too, but again, if they only see the threads, I don't think people see it as art. Like taking something like this and adding it to a painted background and combining it might make it more of a mixed media piece. Yeah, I don't know whether beads buttons added to a textile piece would make it as mixed media. And I suppose you could call it whatever you wanted to and then let a juror, decide. But it's very frustrating that we don't get the respect as textile artists. It's a fabulous feeling, Barbara. I've had some amazing feedback lately that really, like I said, it's very humbling, but it tells me that I'm following the path that's right for me. It's not for everybody. Not everybody likes to share, like I do. Not everybody likes to let people into, what's happening in their personal world. And that's okay because we each have our own paths. But being a brave creative, which is what I think I am now, means sharing like that. And I think it makes people get to know me a little better. It makes them want to have a part of me if they can afford it. Philippa says, yes, attached to a solid background keeps the art world happy. Yeah, so sometimes I'll take something like this and attach it to another piece of like fabric and then stretch that over a canvas stretcher bars, and it's ready to go. Barbie said, people buy from people they like. Yep, my wedding clients would book with me because we connected. The price was always secondary. Exactly. We often paint our background, so maybe that would count as mixed media. Oh, you can't use wet media. So what if, though, you took, okay, let's see. Let me grab something smaller here. Okay. Hey, Soto, how are you today? I'm going to move this needle out of the way. Let's talk about this a little bit. All right. So if this is my stretcher bar, okay, and you can't use wet media, you could piece together something, stretch that over your stretcher bars, and then take your quilt and so you would add that to it. You could do all this with stitch, Sue. Absolutely. You could do all this with stitch because that's what I did with Garden Dance. And if you go to my website and you look in the textile pieces and you look at that green piece I worked on, that's exactly what I did. is I made the embroidery. Now I would do it differently this time because I've learned about it. Okay, so this time, if I was doing this, knowing that I wanted to put it on stretcher bars, I would create my piece of, embroidery. I would create my quilt, and then I would take it and I would stitch it to another piece of fabric. And then I would take this and I would just staple it around, or you can lace it to the back. You don't have to use wet media at all. It's automatically mixed media as soon as you add beads or the like. Oh, interesting. Beads would make it qualify. We have a thread, and I'll revive it in the group, about finishing off textile work. But there's a lacing format that you can use as well, where you're just basically kind of like doing the shoelaces back and forth on the back of stretcher bars. But does it count as mixed media if it's only stuff I've been able to stitch to a ground cloth? I think so. Barbara says, Gail, we have a lot of similar interests. We should meet somewhere. Takes a very long time to get more popular. Yeah. The term textile art appeals to me and did so before I met Susan and you creatives. Yes. Yes, I'm glad to hear that. Oh, yeah. Draw strong double-sided tape to a painted board. That works too. Okay, wait a minute. I need to go back. I missed some things here. Barbara says, I took a quilting workshop with an artist who put a big fat thread into the bobbin and stitched it from the wrong side of the picture. I think I posted my magic tree on the Facebook page. Yes, yes, yes. Great ways to add texture. Sculptors have the same issue. If I made a piece that could be wall mounted, it would sell before a traditional vessel. People would say, I love it, but have no place to put it. Yeah, and I'm struggling a little bit with that. I'm kind of obsessed with doing vessels right now. But next year, my plan is more textile art. I hadn't thought about that with sculpture, though. And by textile art, I mean art that can go up on the wall. Okay, Annette, glad you hung with us for a little while. I've also stitched work to handmade paper and then taped it to a board. Oh, yes, that's another good one. Khadi paper is really beautiful for that. It's got the nice rough edges. Gail is in the group. Yes, indeed. I did not think about sculptures, though. I always thought sculpture did equally as well as wall art. So I didn't realize that. Because I guess that's where I was landing vessels in there. Yeah, I really liked the way Garden Dance came out for me, stretched over a pre-made canvas. And that was the first one I had done like that. And I learned a lot that I think I could improve upon. I also like the idea, you're off to 13-year-old just got back from roller skating. Tracy, I am so glad you're able to join us today. You missed a lot, but that means business is good. So business being good is another good thing for you, Kathy. Thanks. I'm glad you like the beads. Yeah, for me, one of the things I was thinking about, this wouldn't help you, Sue, but I was going to collage some old canvases with, old book pages, and then attach my canvases to that. You would hope to sell 5 sculptures a year and would sell 5 times that in wall pieces. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Something to think about. That does help me with some continual focus then. Yeah, don't forget, we do have the December Zoom dates are up, and it's different this time. If you have Zoomed with me before, it will be a different link. So make sure you go over to the Google Forms and sign up there so I can send you the link. And the reason I'm doing it differently this time is because I'm opening it up free and I'll be pitching it in the group a lot. I still want to keep us safe. And so that means that people that have not, participated and filled out everything properly are not going to have the link to our regular sign-in place. So just trying to keep us our nice, safe place. There we go. Thank you, Terry. So yeah, I need to make sure I add the lacing thing to how to display work. Interesting discussion that wall art even would outsell sculptures. You just have to go to that link. Terry just posted the link, Terry, or I'm Sue. Terry just posted the link, and it should be a live link. And when you go over there, the form will be there to fill out. If you go over to the group, it is pinned to the top in the group, in the Facebook group. I do think this green, knowing how I love green, this is definitely going to be a green that I want. Barbie says, think about it from the collector's point of view. They want to display it and not worry about how to clean and maintain it. They understand how to display pictures. You absolutely can come to both sessions. Thanks for bringing that up. I should have mentioned that. You absolutely can come to both sessions. Yeah, I guess so. As far as wall art, one of the things I was thinking about with regard to freestanding art was that a lot of people, like, I don't have walls to display things. I have one wall in the sunroom that if I ever get, an excess of wall art, I'll be hanging stuff in there. But I have mostly windows, so I have no place to display wall art. So I guess I was thinking about that. But the idea about having something, like stretched so that then if somebody wanted to put it under glass, they could. I figure not framing something seems to, right now, I don't think my work sells for enough to rationalize me putting in the frames, especially since I offer free shipping. That's true. People worry about sculpture getting toppled. That's another good point. Okay, you guys, you're helping me refine my thoughts for my work in the coming year. I appreciate that. Terry, what did you sell the most of during your last few weeks here at your session? Was it your painting class samples or your jewelry? Bye, Carol. Thanks for stopping in. Have a creative week. All right, here. It looks like 4 threaded needles was just about right for me because I know I lost some time because I unthreaded something accidentally. Yeah, these greens just really, I can't seem to even show. I'm just gonna have to take some pictures. Educating people on how to live with their artwork is really important to sales. It is. We should put together like a tip sheet. There's a lot of that kind of stuff that I need to want to do just to kind of have included on my site and with sales, trying to up my game a little bit. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. I just want to get one more little knot. There we go. All right. You can see the sparkle now. I hope you guys can. There a little bit of the sparkle. I'm going to take some pictures and I'll post them in the group and on Instagram. Terry said, at the shop, I've been selling gift tags, ornaments, a little bit of everything else. From Etsy, I've been selling lots of ephemera. Okay, well, that's good. And I just pulled my thread right out of my needle. Doggone it. Yeah, so I think this is going to be a pretty vessel, but now you guys have me thinking maybe I shouldn't be thinking vessels. Maybe I should be thinking wall art on this one. Part of the lure of textile art is the texture. I want to feel the artwork. Yes. And, there's a lot of discussion around, should you frame textile work under glass? And if you want to do it under glass, you definitely need to put some risers. But I You think so, Gail? You think it should be flat on the wall? Barbie said, the thing I hated about being a photographer is how little time I spent behind my camera and how much time I spent in marketing and sales. Yeah. Vessels are lovely, but people like wall art more. They might. So maybe that's where I need to go with this. But then I'm going to have to think about it because it's mounted. It's created in such a way. Of course, it doesn't have to be on stretcher bars. What I could do, okay, let's talk about this in these last few minutes here. I'm not going to start with the golds. Okay, so this is a base of felt, and then I will put a backing fabric on it when I'm done. But because I have room around the sides, something I could do is it wouldn't have to be on a canvas. It could be just another piece of fabric with a piece of wood here. It could go on a can. Let's see. Let me use my iPad. Yeah, the iPad will be a good example. Okay, vessels are lovely. Just have to show the many ways to display it. Customers always need to see your vision. Yeah. Okay, so if this was, picture this is, let me pull my zoom back here. This will be a good discussion here. Let's reset this. Okay. So if this was a stretcher bar that was, say, like 8 by 10, it could be mounted just to that stretcher bar with the ends, not in. See, the trouble is with this one, because I didn't plan it for that one. So this one may stay a vessel, but going forms, yeah, I don't see a focal point on this piece. Yeah, and for me, the whole idea was it with a random. It could be a journal cover, but Barbara, it would be a very small journal, and you would have to then stitch your seam through here. But one thing you can do, what I wanted to say is you could mount something that would just kind of float on the frame. You wouldn't have, if you had planned it that way, you wouldn't have to come over the edges. Yeah, there's a lot of, Fiona says, I have embroideries behind non-reflective glass. Keeping them clean and dust-free would be difficult. Lots of types of frames available now. Yeah, you could add fabric as a frame, but I think it's because I had always envisioned this one way that I'm probably going to see it through as a vessel. Because I don't want to put that much extra work into thinking about how, I like to think about the end result, how it's going to be before I'm starting the project. So if I know, okay, this is going to be a piece of wall art, then I already know, like, hold on a second here, like, okay, on the trees, let me find my, okay. On the trees, I already know this is going to hang without a frame. I haven't finished the top yet, but you can see how I've got something coming off the edges and how the bottom is just going to be kind of dangling. I'm glad you learned so much here, Jackie. That's exactly what we want. And it gets us all ways of thinking, more ways of thinking about things. And so I'll do the same thing at the top when I'm done, is I'm going to add some more little dangly bits. And then when I back this with another piece of fabric, then I'm going to put a piece of wood there. And it can hang. And I might put wood all the way around on the base. So then it will hang away from the wall just a little bit. Thank you. It's the one thing that I learned a lot on this piece. So I'm anxious to do another forest one and not make it quite so hard on myself. But I've got some more seed stitching to get in there. And I've got to figure out what I'm going to do. Wait a minute here. Terry said, I would love to see that as a panel in the back of a dress with matching work on the front panel. So that would be fun. Could see it. Gail said, I could see this being the front of a handbag. Oh, wow. What about a mountain on a canvas that you paint the sides? Yes. The trees I'd stitched to paper extending onto canvas. Yeah, this is just going to be freestanding just like it is. but I've got to figure out what I'm going to do in this center here. I'm not pleased with all the stitches in here, and I'm just not quite sure how to fix them. I can't really take them out because they've got, I could, but I could paint over them. So I might, I don't know. I'm just not, yeah, as I'm going to start another one. Vicky says, I'd love to see how you did the tree works. I'm going to start another one where you guys can see me work on the trees from scratch, and I'll just do like a small 5x7 one. Yeah, I think this will work on the forest piece. It just has to be a little bit different. I just got to figure out the center. I'm not happy with these stitches, and I just don't know what I'm going to do with it. Yeah, size. And so my thing is I make all my stuff so complicated, and I really need to figure out a way to make things less complicated because if they're less complicated, they'll take me less time to finish, and then I won't feel quite so frustrated with what I have to charge for something. Oh, Margaret, I'm sorry you're not having a good day. Hope you feel better soon, and check out, where to go sign up for December Zooms. Yeah, I just don't know light-wise. I just don't know how to fix it. I don't know what to do to fix it, with light. If I did a lighter color, I might just add another layer of stitch over it. This stuff is kind of, because it's pretty heavily painted here, it's kind of heavy to do any kind of, French knots in. I could make just kind of like a tangle. Pick one style of mounting, then it creates continuity over the works. Yes, there is that. Ooh, just kind of like a tangle in the forest. I kind of like that too. Adding shades of yellow like the sun is setting. Do I have any yellow here? Let's look at some different colors here. Thank you, guys. Yellow is probably too bright, but this gold. Gail said, have you heard the concept that artwork shouldn't be priced by the amount of time you've put into it? Yeah, that tangle looked kind of interesting to me. I think too much color. I think I got to stay with, I kind of like this. This was kind of fade to the flied stitch. Oh. Thanks, Terry, for Deb's Crafting Room. Joanne says, am I crazy to feel that the center of the tree piece doesn't need any fixing? Well, I like that. Maybe the thing is that I'm thinking it just needs maybe a little more browns. This is maybe I just do my feather stitch or fly stitch around in here. You thought the same thing. Okay, adds depth. Well, then maybe I'll just fill in these little stitches that I don't like here and not worry. I'd like to get this one finished. I think I really, the reason this took me so long, just a little more texture in the middle. So that tangle was really interesting to me. Just really interesting. Maybe not with threads as thick as that. I don't have anything smaller right handy. Very darker brown and like a tunnel through the trees. Yeah, from a distance, let's see, that's as much of a distance as I can go. Lori thinks the middle needs a little something. Yeah. Darker brown looks like it's, so I could maybe just bring my bushes in the rest of the way too. Let me see if I have anything kind of, so I've got these wool slubs. Fiona, know what? Know what? Come on, you're always got such a great eye. Tell me, know what? Let the eye go to the center. See, if I brought the darker green in, so I can bring this color, the hidey hole for the magical place. There's a path. Smudge some yellow, the brown, tangle over. Fiona, please tell me what you're thinking, because I love the way your brain works and we tend to agree on a lot of cases. This is just, you're yelling at me. No, don't touch that piece. Finish it. The center just bugs me. It really does. It bugs me. Maybe if I just build up the outsides a little more and make a smaller. You like the fine dark threads. Okay. Yeah, I want to finish it. I want to finish it and get it up there. I'm kind of liking just a little bit more. Maybe that's it. It's the color. I want to finish from these thicker wool slubs with just a little bit of a darker green. And be a smaller hole. Maybe a few more bullion stitches here. And then all I have to do is a little bit more, little darker to the top. Yeah. Yeah, so then it becomes more like a hole. Bugs you because your eye can't quite see that it's a path. Yeah, and the path idea came to me after I'd already had a lot of other stuff. Originally, this piece was going to be about exploring texture, which it still is. And then I just tried to do too much on one piece without a plan. But I want to finish it because there's things I've learned. And there's just a few places. Maybe this will be a weekend thing. I should be able to finish it this weekend. I learned a lot of things that I can take to the next one. Yeah, just a little bit more green up here. I might just get some more feather stitch just in the darker green. All right, my voice is telling me it is time for some throat coat tea. Darker hues work slowly through the branches toward the center. I like that. Thank you guys all for your feedback and for the fabulous conversation. Barbara says it's like walking in the forest and you get to the place through all the underbrush that opens to the wider space in the forest. Who knows what you'll see there? Yeah, and that's kind of what I wanted is this, let's take a walk in the woods. It was a great visit, and I hope you guys all had a good time. Some of you signed up for the Zoom in December, and yes, like Sue asked, you can come to both Zoom sessions. Would love to have you join us. If you're not already in the Facebook group, come on over and hang out there. And then after this video is off here, I would love it if you guys would leave a comment on the video so YouTube knows it was a good place to hang out. All right. Bye-bye, everybody. I will see you next week. Thanks so much for being here and being a part of our creative circle.